If you don't know where to start or you struggle to budget your income, it's probably because you're using the wrong system, or worse, you don't have any plan in place. Today, I'm going to break down 3 popular budgeting methods, who they're for, how they work, and which one would best suit you. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shuaib and I have been working as a corporate analyst for over 10 years. I make videos about money, budgeting and building better financial habits. In this video, I'm going to break down the 50-30-20 rule, zero-based budgeting and the envelope method using real examples. Make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more content like this. And without further ado, let's get into it. System number 1, the 50-30-20 rule. So this is the most beginner-friendly and straightforward budgeting system. It's very easy to implement and here's how it works. You take your after-tax income and split it into 3 categories as follows. 50% needs. So these are mandatory non-negotiable costs that are essential for daily life. So this would include rent, utility bills, food, transport, etc. Then you'd have the 30%, which are wants. Now these are expenses which would improve your quality of life but are not necessities. It would include things such as eating out, entertainment and say shopping. Then lastly, you'd have the 20%. Now this would include savings and debts. Now this is money that is specifically set aside for long-term security. So this would include emergency fund, investing and paying off debt. So let's take a look at an example. Say if you earn $3,000 a month after tax. Out of that, $1,500 will go towards your needs. $900 will go towards your wants and $600 will go towards your savings. A very basic system. Who it's best for. Now this works great if you have stable income and you don't want to track every dollar. It allows flexibility as you can tweak the split if suddenly you have unexpected costs in a certain area. Also, it allows automation, especially when it comes to the savings element, and is the most basic approach to budgeting compared to the other two. The downside, however, is that it can be a bit too flexible, especially for those who are trying to get out of debt. As in these cases, not enough funds are being allocated to high interest loans or credit cards. From good financial practice point of view, it is always best to pay off high interest debts first. Another downside is that with the cost of living these days, in some areas rent, mortgage and utility costs may well exceed the 50% threshold and leave a little for the other 2 areas. Let's now take a look at system number 2, zero-based budgeting. This system gives each dollar a job where every expense must be justified. The best way to look at it is your income minus expense should equal to 0. Now that doesn't mean you spend everything. It just means every dollar is assigned to a specific category until the balance is 0. Steps to create a zero-based budget. First, list your total income for the month. Then categorize expenses. For example, housing, food, transport, investing, etc. Then you'd allocate income to all the categories until income minus expense becomes 0. And lastly, you'd review say weekly to ensure your spending matches the plan. Let's take a look at a scenario. Let's say you earn $3,000 a month after tax. Similar to the previous example, but here your bills account to $1,500, you spend $600 and you save $700. But at the end you have $200 left over. That $200 is not for you to splash out or treat yourself. You'd assign that amount to, say, to your emergency fund. Who it's best for. This approach is best for those who want a highly detailed and accurate budget plan. It reduces impulse spending and is perfect if you want to optimize savings or pay off debt. Also, this approach is really good for those who want to identify and cut unnecessary expenses as it forces you to validate each cost. The downside, however, is that this system can be at times very rigid. It is time-consuming to set up and maintain. Also, you constantly have to review and make sure everything is going according to plan. It requires having a fixed and regular income source and wouldn't suit those with variable incomes. Another disadvantage of this system is that it focuses on short-term goals and can neglect long-term financial aspirations. And finally, system number 3, the envelope method. This system is all about financial discipline. Here's how it works. You work out your grocery costs, rent, mortgage, etc., and set spending limits and put cash into envelopes. Now, of course, these days, a majority of us do not deal in cash, so it will be a digital equivalent. Say an e-wallet. Some banking apps offer digital spaces or envelopes that can help with this process. Once an envelope is empty, you stop spending money from that envelope. Who is it best for? This works best if you are one of those individuals who overspends easily or you struggle with impulse buying and need to reinforce strong boundaries. The downside, however, is that it requires a discipline and having to plan ahead. This can be time consuming, especially if you have a busy lifestyle. On top of that, if you already have bad financial habits, it will be difficult to implement as any cost out of the blue will throw the entire plan off. Now, the key question is, which budgeting system should you use? Well, there isn't a one right answer, and the truth is you should choose one that suits your particular circumstance and needs. Also, it is important to go for the one you'll most likely stick to because that's the whole point. A general rule of thumb: if you want simplicity, then the 50-30-20 approach would be a good option. Whereas if you want control, then you should go for the zero-based. And if you want to adhere to strict spending discipline, then the envelope method would be a preferred option. What's even great is that you can even mix them up. For example, you can go with the zero-based budgeting system, but instead of having the money in your current account, you can create e-wallets or even put the money into physical envelopes and have spending limits in place. As I have mentioned in one of my previous videos, most people do not have a budgeting system in place and struggle when it comes to managing their finances. Even those who are on high salaries are not exempt from this. Budgeting is one of the most crucial building blocks to good financial practices. Even if you struggle to maintain the plan, I would still encourage you to adopt one, as it gives you something to work from. Remember, budgeting is meant to help you navigate your finances and help you make better financial decisions. And on that note, if you found the video helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more simple money content, and make sure to comment which budgeting system you're using, and I'll see you in the next one.